Hello again, everybody, and I'm back with more from Super Fudge by Judy Blume. We left off at the family finding out that they're going to move to Princeton, New Jersey. So again, we're going to get started with Super Fudge by Judy Blume. So what about it, I pressed. Are we going to Maine? We're going to Princeton instead, Dad told me. Instead, Fudge babbled. Shut up, I yelled at him. And then I just said as loud, I hate Princeton. You never even been there before, Mom said. Oh, yes, I have. When we went to visit some dumb friend of yours, and they served us this disgusting dinner, shrimp and mushrooms and spinach all mixed together. And I was hungry, but they wouldn't give me anything else to eat, not even an extra piece of bread. I remember. Oh, that's right, Mom said. I'd forgotten all about that day at Millie and George's house. You forget everything that's important. Look, Peter, Dad said. We were hoping you'd be pleased about Princeton. We've already rented a house there. In fact, we've rented Millie and George's house. They're going to Europe for the year. That old dump? It's not a dump. It's a beautiful old place. And we've arranged to sublette our apartment. So I'd like you to keep an open mind about this. Open, 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 Fudge sang. You should have told me before. Just like you should have told me about Tootsie as soon as you knew. You never tell me anything. And here I said, shoving Tootsie at Dad. Why don't you hold your own stupid baby yourself? Because I have things to do. I got up and marched across the living room, kicking a couple of Fudge's cars as I went. By the time I got to my room, he was crying. Good, I thought. And then Tootsie started. Better yet. And then Turtle began to bark. Let them suffer. I slammed my bedroom door and my map wound up on my bed again. I guess I fell asleep in my clothes because the next thing I knew, Mom was shaking me and saying, Come on, Peter, get undressed and get under the covers. It's late. Too hot for covers, I mumbled. Okay, if you want to sleep in your clothes tonight, you can, but at least take off your sneakers. Like them where they are, I said sleepily. Okay, if you want to sleep in your sneakers just for tonight, maybe every night. Mom ignored that. Peter, about Princeton, she began. I held up my hand. Don't want to talk about it. You don't have to talk. Just listen. Too tired to listen. All right, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Anyway, nothing I can do about it, just like Tootsie. Nothing I can do about her either. But you don't mind her now, do you? Getting used to her. And you'll get used to Princeton too. You'll see. Then she started telling me about where I go to school. But I was still half asleep and not really listening until she said something like, having your little brother in the same school. And I sat up, suddenly wide awake. What did you say? About what? Just now, about Fudge in school. Oh, we've had him tested. And even though he's a little young, we're going to be able to enroll him in kindergarten. After all, he's had a full year of preschool, and you know he can count by tens and recite the alphabet, and he knows his months and days of the week and colors, and he can even spell May. Yeah, I said. We all know the kid's a genius, but you said something else about him going to the same school as me? That's right. You'll be in the 6th grade, and he'll be in kindergarten. Won't that be fun? Fun? That did it. I jumped off the bed and grabbed my Adidas bag. You think it's fun to go to a new school? I don't even know anybody there. And I definitely don't want to go with the little monster. You don't understand anything, do you? I opened my dresser drawers and dumped my clothes into the bag. This time I'm really leaving. Peter, honey, Mom said, you can't run away every time you hear something you don't think you like. I don't think it, I know it. Even so, running away doesn't solve anything. Maybe not for you, but it does for me. I tossed in my baseball glove, my favorite jeans, half of my Mad magazines, a few of my smaller maps, and a couple of tapes. Should I make you a peanut butter sandwich with you to take along? Mom asked, smiling. Don't give me any of that little boy stuff, I told her, because I mean it. I'm leaving. She stopped smiling. I can understand how you feel, but Daddy and you didn't think the same way as me. I'm beginning to see that. But if you cared about me at all, even just a little bit, you wouldn't have done this. You wouldn't have. Peter, We care about you a lot. That's one of the reasons for moving to Princeton. And we didn't even get to tell you the really big news. Oh, there's more, I said? Well, I can't wait to hear it. Daddy is taking the year off. I stopped packing. He quit his job at the agency. No. He's been fired. No. Then what? He's taking a leave of absence. Wait, he wants to tell you himself. She went to my door and called, Warren, Warren, can you come in here? I'm changing Tootsie, Dad called back. Be there in just a minute. I thought Dad never changed a diaper in his life. He didn't. Not until Tootsie came along. What's so special about changing her diapers? I asked. Nothing. It's just that Dad realizes he missed out on some of your baby experiences. And he doesn't want to make the same mistake again. He's so busy changing Tootsie, he hasn't got time for anybody else. Peter, that's not fair. Mom said, what do you know about fair? Dad came into my room smelling like baby lotion. I told Peter, you have a surprise for him, Mom said. I'm taking the year off, Dad said, and that way I'll have more time to spend with the family because I'll be working at home. I'm going to write a book. A book, I said? That's right, on the history of advertising and its effect on the American people. Couldn't you write something more interesting, I asked? Like a book about a kid who runs away because his parents decide to move without asking him first? Sounds like a good story, Dad said. Maybe you should write it yourself. Maybe I will, I said, and I'd like to know how we're going to eat with you not working. We've got money saved, and I'll probably get an advance for writing the book. Give it a chance, Peter, Mom said. I'll think about it, I told her. But if I'm gone in the morning, don't be surprised. And then from the other room, we could hear Fudge singing himself to sleep. M-A-I-N-E spells May. F-U-D-G-E spells Fudgy. P-E-T-E-R spells Peter. B-E-E-R spells whiskey. When you listen to that, I said, the kid should be a big hit in kindergarten. Off the wall. I told Jimmy Fargo about Princeton. You're moving, he asked, like he couldn't believe it. Not exactly, I answered. We're just going for a year. You're moving, he said. I can't believe it. Neither can I. You don't have to move, he said. You could stay here if you really wanted to. You think I don't want to stay? I don't know anybody in Princeton. You think I want to go to some school where I don't have any friends? Then tell your mother and father you refuse to go. That's what I do. But where would I live? With me. But where would I sleep? On the floor, Jimmy said. It's good for your back to sleep on the floor. I thought about sleeping on the floor for a year. About living with Jimmy and his father. Mr. Fargo used to be an actor, but now he's a painter. He paints these weird-looking pictures of circles and triangles and squares. He's so absent-minded that he only buys food when Jimmy reminds him. One time I looked in their refrigerator and all they had was an empty bottle of wine, half of an apple and a salami sandwich and onion, so it had turned green. So Jimmy now knows that Peter's moving, so we have to get back and see what happens. Will Jimmy let Peter move in or will Peter go?